Hey guys, let's talk about what I just saw. The latest live-action variation from Disney, Cruella, is out now, and it's an uneven, but passable, new take on a Disney character. The film is about Estrella, an eccentric lady with a genius for alternative fashion who tries to break into the world of 70s London fashion. This causes her to butt heads with, and ultimately seek vengeance against, established fashion mogul the Baroness, setting her on a path that leads to her becoming the infamous Disney villain Cruella de Vil. Now, here are some of the things that I did like about the film. First and foremost, Emma Thompson gives the movie standout performance as the Baroness, as she's delightfully wicked and megalomaniacal, and presents a good adversary for an origin story for Cruella de Vil. The film also has a strong sense of stylism in it, which fits its theme of status quo versus unconventional fashion. The film also, to its credit, does establish that Estrella did always have inner darkness in her, and that Cruella was a kind of split personality of hers since childhood. Finally, the actor who plays the younger version of Cruella's henchman Horace does a great job in embodying his cartoonish stupidity, and he made me laugh quite a bit. Now, as I said before, this film is a mixed bag, because it has many problems with it that do weaken it overall. Now, I can't really talk about the major weaknesses of this film without spoiling major parts of the plot. So just skip ahead to this part if you only want to hear my verdict and not have the movie spoiled for you. First of all, Emma Stone's performance as Estrella/Cruella is very uneven, as certain creative choices with her keep her from really sinking her teeth into the role. Instead, we only get to see her as the crazy Cruella we all know for less than a third of the movie's runtime, which is really unfortunate because Stone's performance shines best in these moments. Instead, for about half of the film's running length of over 2 freaking hours, we see her in her Estrella persona, which is too reserved and awkward to really be that interesting. In addition, the attempts to shoehorn every major character from 101 Dalmatians into Cruella's origin story are really forced, even when taking into account that this film is clearly setting up its own continuity. While her association with Horace and Jasper is fine, and helps to set up why they're her go-to henchmen, having Anita and Roger being part of her origin really came off as too much. In addition, the film has a mid-credit scene in which, I shit you not, she ends up being the person who gave Anita and Roger their dogs Pongo and Purdy. Which just makes the subsequent events of the 101 Dalmatians story we all know extra fucked up when you think about it. This in turn leads to the film's final major problem, which is that it doesn't go far enough to properly set up the villainous Cruella we're all familiar with. First of all, we inexplicably see her throughout the film with a pet dog that she adores, which really doesn't make any sense, because Cruella de Vil is, let's face it, one of the iconic animal haters. Also, there is a moment in the film in which she has the Baroness's Dalmatians, who it turns out were responsible for her mother's death early in the film, kidnapped and pretends to have a coke made out of them just to fuck with the Baroness. Yes, pretends to, not actually do it like you'd expect her to do. Also, in the climax of the film, rather than completely succumbing to her inner darkness when she gets revenge on the Baroness, she has a less monstrous resolution in which, while she does fully embrace her Cruella persona, she doesn't really have the sinister point of no return that she really needed in order to properly set her up as the monster we would all know. Instead, the film ends with her being Cruella full-time, but with some compassion in her still, which really doesn't fit the character at all. Overall, Cruella is not the edgy villain origin story we should have gotten, but at the same time, it is a very stylized film with at least one great lead and an entertaining comedic performance throughout it. So I would give it a B- overall. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and ring the bell. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Also, might as well give my Pop Culture and History Guy Patreon a look. By the way, Special thanks to Patreon supporter L'Oreal McNabb. Have a nice day!